Folks, I got to say thank you so much for doing this interview with me, and especially because we're talking about the release of the new album, Jacksoul Greatest Hits. I got to ask you, you guys must be thrilled that this is finally happening because, I mean, Haydain Neale's music has been just so iconic, and to finally have something like this out, I mean, it's a wonderful thing for everybody.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the fans too to have some closure and have all of these great songs on one CD. I think that's really important, and I'm really excited to hear it.
Now, Haydain, I interviewed Haydain from back in the day, and the thing I always loved about him was that beautiful smile he always had, and that little that laugh he would have. I mean, it was oh so infectious. I mean, what was he like for you as a dad?
He was incredible. I always say I'd rather have 19 years of a really present father than 60 years of an absent dad who I didn't really see. He was always staying up late with me, talking about politics, on me for math homework, really into school. A lot of people thought because he was young and a musician, he was hip, that he would kind of be lax about school, but he was really about education and he was just great, just wonderful to talk to, and really shaped who I am today.
And of course, as a front man for Jacksoul, like I said, we always loved his voice and we loved the music. What was it like working with him?
It was awesome. I mean, if you're talking about live shows, always electrifying vocally. I get to sit there, or got to sit there in the back playing the keys, but he would just do his thing, and the whole band had to raise up behind him. So he commanded the stage, commanded our energies, which was great. And also just being able to tour and play and being in the studio. He was a great leader and someone who was really inspiring. So it was great for us as well.
For back in the day, what was his writing skills like? Like, what were the things that he was focusing with? Because we just sort of fell into a groove into his music.
I think he just worked hard and wrote a lot. As far as I know, he focused on I think what he really aspired to is like starting with like a beat and a groove. That's always the thing. Pull up a drum loop, pull up something that he could kind of like shake his butt to. You know what I mean? And make him smile, and they go, okay, here we are. That's where we're starting. Because I think the whole Jacksoul thing was rooted in the soul R&B kind of thing. So once you had that feeling, and then the lyrics would come and the melodies would come, and obviously his patented harmonies, which which was that's part of the Jacksoul sound. So I think that's kind of like what inspired him, like really groove melodies where it would start.
When we do talk about the Jacksoul sound, talk about some of the hits that he had over the years. I know some of my favorites. I mean, what were your favorites?
Never Say Goodbye has been one of my favorites for a long time, especially listening to the lyrics now, because it's about saying goodbye and releasing someone as an angel, and it's just a song that really resonates with me. Without You was written about one of my teenage moments where I stopped talking to him and I was all mad and going through stuff. And so it sounds like a love song that's all about what am I going to do without you, but it's actually about me going through my teenage angst. So the Greatest Hits album is really special to me because it's sort of like the greatest hits of our lives, because a lot of the love songs are written about my mom and his relationship, and then there's little behind the scenes songs like that are written about me, and so having that all together is kind of nice. Yeah.
Okay, you got to talk about, though, Still Believe in Love. I mean, that's my jam. Talk about that one.
Oh, it's so funny. So many people have reached out to us over the years and said, this was my breakup song, and this is my song to get me through this girlfriend. And yeah, that song just has such an old school feeling to it, and I feel like his music's really relevant now, even over the years. It never sort of fades in and out. Like, it's still very much what you'd hear today on the radio. That song would, in my opinion, would still be a hit today.
So how did we finally get this Greatest Hits album together? Because there's also a new track we want to talk about, too.
Mm-hmm. How did it come together? I think through a variety of things. I think one of the things was it was getting to that point of 5 years since Haydain's passing, and I personally would create my own playlist on my iTunes playlist to listen to Jacksoul stuff, and then it kind of like hit me at one point going like there is no greatest hits collection of an artist that's been around for so long and done so much, especially in this country, and I think it was time to put that together. And then with regards to new material, Michaela gave me all these hard drives. Like, I have a mountain of hard drives under my piano. And basically I would just take them out. And every once in a while at 2 a.m, I would just put it on because that seemed like the appropriate time to listen. And I'd go through all these demos and demos and demos and demos. And what happened was, at a point, we found maybe a bunch of demos that felt like these were written 7 years ago, but they were pertinent today, and they still classic today, and they still feel like they were right, and something Haydain would be proud of as a song that he wrote back then, but he would feel good having it come out into the world. So, long story short, we took some of those, did them up, and then we chose the 3 best to add to the collection of the greatest hits.
And one of them, of course, got to have it. We've got a video of that, too, that's out right now. Talk a little bit about the song itself and finding it. I mean, did you guys have to remix anything? Like, how did you, or did you even have to do anything to update it?
We did, actually. What was there was like his vocal, the guitar part, the bass part, all those harmonies. Basically, what we just did is like we worked on the groove and the arrangement. So we switched around parts and put them in different places. But the essence of it was all there. We didn't have to retrack guitar. We didn't have to retrack bass. We didn't have to retrack, like, obviously we had his vocals. We didn't have to retrack. So we just added what needed to be added. But it was magical, you know, listening to that song. I think about today and the music, like Bruno Mars just came out with a song, actually the one with Mick Ronson, and you listen to Daft Punk and Lucky and all of Pharrell stuff, and this song that was written 7 years ago just seems like today. It feels like it was written yesterday, you know. So I think it's something that Haydain would be very proud of, and obviously was, and we're very proud of it. And I put it on, and I kind of go, wow, like, it's here and it feels relevant. So it's great.
How does it feel, though, now when you're listening to the radio, and before we were hearing past super hits, but now we're hearing new music from your dad?
It's great. I mean, there's times where it's almost like he's speaking to you through the radio, and it's nice to hear a younger generation start requesting these songs, because, I mean, there's a lot of my friends' parents, not to date anyone, but listen to Jacksoul, but it's nice to have people that are now younger than me kind of going, oh, what's that song, Got to Have It, that's your dad, I love that song. So, I mean, it's great hearing him on the radio, and I've heard a lot of the old stuff replayed over the years, but it's really kind of cool to have a new song.
You know, I was there for the celebration of his life. There's a celebration going on tonight as we speak about the album. What type of legacy do you hope that he has left for fans, and how you hope that fans will think of him and his music?
Well, I think it's just him as a person. So many people have met him personally at shows or at situations where you're interviewing him, and he was just such a down-to-earth guy. Like, he had this big music career, but he never lost sight of what he wanted. And I remember he told my mom and I, if it ever gets too crazy, like, I'll just quit music and I'll just write and kind of stay behind the scenes. And I think his legacy is really him as a person, just being down to earth, no matter how important or popular your music gets. You know, it's just music, and you have to still remain a good person. I think what I really wish his fans could see now is him live, because I think that's just something that was incredible, and that's the one thing that I really wish people could see now. But I mean, with the technology now, you can watch videos and see him, but I think him live on stage, he could get a group full of executives and CEOs up and dancing and moving around. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to ask you the same question.
About his legacy?
Yes.
That's a tough one, but, you know, I'll speak on a different side of it. Obviously, I know the family side. I'll speak to as a friend, but as a person who tried to bring R&B soul music and break that in this country, and it was a tough thing to do back in the late 1990s and 2000s. You know, there weren't a lot of people doing it. Right now, it's definitely much more in the forefront of even the charts and everything. But it's something that he really tried to push and tried to do whatever possible to either bring it to the radio, bring it to the public, bring it to the live shows. And I think hopefully it's one of those bands, one of those artists, one of those writers who did everything he could to try and pave that way and try to break that sound. So for me, the legacy in the music is, trying to build those new roads. And I think he accomplished that, and I'm really proud to have been a part of it and to work on that with him. And we continue to do this greatest hits to show that legacy and show that what he did 7 years ago is still pertinent today. And when I see all those, whether it's Bruno on the TV or whatever, I think if he was around today, he would be doing more of that kind of stuff as well. He would be paving the way and trying to do more and more things like that.
Absolutely agree with that. One last question. Any chance Jacksoul can still tour?
with the new hologram technology.
If you want to throw that in there.
I mean, I think there's holographic technology where we can take certain DNA molecules from Yasmin and we can mix it in a pot, and then I think like we have this thing coming up through other videos and certain things I've seen on The Matrix or some kind of movie like that, and then we tour like that, and then there he is, and then we can do it. But other than that, I would say probably not.
Well, you know what? He's still in all our hearts, and the best part is he's on our radios, MP3 players, CD players, and record players. So.
Record players, absolutely. And we know that there's a special edition piece of vinyl coming out soon with your favorite track on it, Still Believe in Love. And if you hear it on vinyl, it's even better.
Fantastic. Folks, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thanks for having us.